Insurgente.
What's up, everybody? How's y'all doing out there in social media land, virtual land? I want to welcome you to the Black Soul Well podcast, where our mission is leading the culture to mental and emotional health through faith and education. Today is Tuesday, March the 22nd, 2022. Hey, look, y'all, one more week and March is going to be gone. We'll be in April. The first quarter of 2022 will be wrapped up just like that. So I hope that you're knocking those goals out. I hope that you have them written down and you can go through them regularly and get them on out the way so that as we get through the end of the year, you can look back and say, this is what I did this year. Hey, look, we have a really, really good show for you tonight. March is National Nutrition Month, and I have a good friend, an enthusiast, a health enthusiast, that's going to be sharing with us some good pointers. And so we have a good show lined up for you. Let me get into a couple of details. First, have you told anybody about the Black Soul Well podcast? If not, let them know that we stream every other Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on the Black Soul Well Facebook and YouTube page. You can also visit us online at blacksoulwell.com. That's blacksoulwell.com. where you can find out information about who we are and what we're trying to do. I want to invite you to connect with us on our social media platforms at Black Soul Well Podcast. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on IG. And you can find us on YouTube. Follow us for tips on mental and emotional health. And I want to invite you to support. And we all need support. You can pick up some merchandise. We have T-shirts, hats, and bags. You can find it at blacksoulwell.bigcartel.com. Once again, that's blacksoulwell.bigcartel.com. So, our mental health tip of the week. Have a really good one for you this week. Our mental health tip of the week is a graphic. You know, I came across this graphic and it was powerful. It really, really spoke with me. It really, really dealt with me. I could relate to it. And we're going to throw the graphic up on the screen right now. The graphic says this. It's a meme, y'all. It says, food is the most abused anxiety drug. Food is the most abused anxiety drug. Exercise is the most underutilized antidepressant. Once again, food is the most abused anxiety drug. Man, doesn't that just hit us in the kisser? You know what I mean? But exercise is the most underutilized antidepressant. Let's talk about that a little bit. You can pull the graphic down. Thank you very much. So it says food is the most abused anxiety drug. If you're watching with us, get in the comments. Let me know. Let us know what you think about that. Man, I know what that's like. I know what it's like to, you know, when you feel sad, you're feeling kind of low. You just wanna eat a little bit extra than what you usually eat. You want to eat that. Look, we have a saying. They have a whole lane in shopping called comfort food. You know, they call it comfort food because when you get down, you eat it for comfort. You know, sometimes we grow up with those type of bad habits and etc. And we just eat, you know, ice cream and all that kind of stuff. And it's the most abused anxiety drug. So many of us, you know, we eat when we're down, we eat when we're sad. And exercise is the most underutilized antidepressant. You know, someone shared with me some years ago, and I can't speak intelligently, thoroughly on this, but I do remember someone sharing with me how that when you exercise, there are certain types of endorphins released in the brain, which creates a light feeling. It kind of helps you feel. That's why sometimes when you go to the gym or when you get a good pickup game of basketball going, which I haven't in a long time, my boy Dan is going to be joining us. He can tell you we used to hoop all the time as kids. But when you get a little pickup game of basketball going, you're excited, you feel good, you're running up and down the court, you're exhilarated. It's because those endorphins in your body is working and etc. So I want to encourage you, let's stop abusing food. And look, present company included, I have made a quality decision a long time ago to get my health to the best point that I can, because I want to be here on this earth, y'all. I don't want to leave any earlier than I have to. Nobody makes it out alive. You know what I'm saying, as they say, but we don't want to leave early. And so I want to encourage you, don't abuse food. They say some tips. Don't go to the grocery store and shop when you're hungry. Develop some habits, like when you get down, instead of eating, maybe go work out. Maybe call up a friend and chat, or do something instead of just grabbing that burger or grabbing that ice cream and etc. And then get into exercise. I know that one of the things that our guest is going to talk about tonight is getting into a healthy exercise regimen. So that's our health tip of the week. I hope that it helps you. I hope that you will be encouraged. And look, let me end that by saying this: one step at a time. Just one step at a time. You can do it. Don't give up. Don't feel like it's unattainable. You can do it. You can get healthy, and we all can get there. All right. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump into tonight's topic. I'm going to ask if we'll go ahead and bring Dan up on the screen. So tonight we have my good friend, my brother, who I grew up with. We literally grew up 2 streets over from one another. Dan Sutton. Let me tell you a little bit about Dan, and then I'm going to ask him to share a little bit about himself. This is actually his second time on the Black So Well podcast. So Dan is a retired U.S. Navy veteran. He's an educator, and he's a fitness enthusiast. I am also a Navy veteran. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if Dan realizes this, but I went into the Navy because he went into the Navy. I remember our friends, different people were graduating, and at the time I wasn't college material. My head wasn't even thinking about college. And I remember Dan went into the Navy, and I graduated the year after him. And so when it came time for me to kind of think about what I'm going to do, I was like, yo, Dan went into the Navy. I'm gonna go into the Navy too. And that's how that jumped off. He often encourages our circles of friends with different meal ideas. He sends us text messages with different supplements, or he'll show videos of himself working out. And it was 5 years ago. This is 2022. 5 years ago, he encouraged me to run my first 5K. That was 2017, man. I can't believe that 5 years have gone by. But he was running these half marathons, I think, or something, and he was sending videos, and I was really trying to, get back into the workout thing and motivate myself. And so I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I mean, he reached out, he was like, Kirby, man, you need to try. So, I started with a 5K. A couple years later, I did another one, and the rest is history. So we appreciate Dan's encouragement. Dan, welcome back to the Black So Well podcast, my brother. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, Kirby. Thanks for having me back on the show. Let's get right into it.
No doubt, man. Well, thank you for taking time out, man, to come up and share. And before we get into it, tell us a little bit about yourself, and share why health and nutrition is important to you.
Okay. Again, I'm first of all, thank you for your service. All right.
No doubt.
Thanks for having me on the show. Retired Navy veteran, certified personal trainer, nutrition coach. It didn't all come at the same time. A few things I accumulated over time in my journey to which pretty much brought me here to this show at this point. Feel confident enough to say that.
Word.
But yeah, basically, health and nutrition is important to me because during my active duty grind, I got to a point when I was like way overweight,
Mm,
And in the military, that's not a good thing, And so what
mm,
happens is, it brought me nothing but problems, in the military, and so I
mm,
had to make changes. I had to change my lifestyle, and while doing so, I began to notice how many other people didn't quite take their health as serious as they should. So
mm,
then I started looking around at family and friends, and looking at their health, and I got more and more interested, especially as I got closer to retirement. The Navy. You remember the Fat Boy program, right? Fat Boy program. Yeah, you know what? Hey, they I ended up being on the Fat Boy program. If that's not embarrassing, I don't know. I don't know what is. And so
yeah.
I promised myself I would adapt and overcome that. You know, because if I didn't, it meant I would have probably been kicked out, or instead of retiring, I would have been kicked out. And
Mm, mm,
yeah, the funniest thing, I think the main factor that lit my fire, as far as getting me on the right track, was when my mom came out. She flew out to visit me when I was in San Diego, and the first thing that she said when she saw me, she said, "You're fat." I said, "What?" And that's like a striking blow coming from your parents. Like anybody else say that, it's like whatever.
yeah.
When your parents know how to tell you stuff that others won't care to
Mm,
tell you about. So then another important observation is noticing what people around me, or
mm,
hypothetically, what people around you, or people in your immediate circle, what they will and won't talk about. Like
mm,
people, I challenge anybody that's watching this right now to take a look around their circle and see who's actually concerned about their health, not to mention your health or anybody else's health that's in the circle. We got to think about that. What are we doing? You know, um,
Word.
well, eventually I motivated myself to earn a certification as both a personal trainer and nutrition coach,
Mm,
and that pretty much added to what I already started, researching, the information that I accumulated, while I was, on my grind to learn more about what I need to be doing, basically, and so here I am now advocating for good health and wellness, pretty much everywhere I go.
yeah, man. That's what's up, man. That's awesome, man. And just as a sidebar, a little bit.
Mhm.
I remember when we were kids, right? More teens,
Yeah.
and just how we were all like our whole crew always had good health. Like
Yeah.
we were always in shape. We played basketball in the summertime seemingly every day.
Mhm.
We went to the pool, and I can remember. I remember Dan was so strong. I remember you was like out benching everybody, and remember Andy Rose used to talk about how strong you were. He would say like, "Yo, man, you got your daddy's chest." Like I think it
Yeah.
was Andy Rose used to
Yeah.
say that because you were so
Andy.
strong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I just remember, man, like how because like I'm just gonna keep it funky, man.
Mhm.
I mean, I can still move. I'm light on my feet, and I can do some things. I'm not incapacitated, but
Mhm.
I'm overweight. I know that I am overweight. It's certainly by the military standards. You know what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes I look and I'm like, yo, like I never would have imagined. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Of like getting to this point. It's kind of like I just took it for granted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But just those poor habits, bro. Like
Mhm.
over time.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Can you speak to that like just a
Yeah.
little bit?
So, yeah, basically in that same direction, like you mentioned something about standards, external
Mm,
standards. We have to stop externalizing everything. That's probably one of the biggest uh how should I put it? The biggest obstacle out there, but it's quite simple when you really look at it. We got all these we set all these expectations. Well, we don't do it. We let other people set these expectations for us. So we run around thinking we have to live up to. I have to live up to what you like or what you want to see or what you don't want to see.
mm,
I have to look like this with this outfit on or that outfit on. And so there we go. That's stress in itself, really, when you think about it. Keeping up with the Joneses and
yeah, man.
doing all of this and all the extra running around in the rat race and stuff. When you don't really want to do it, but you feel like in order to keep up your appearance, quote
Mm.
unquote. You got to be involved with the latest madness, and so basically, um, you have to internalize everything. You have to bring everything back to zero. Bring
Mm.
everything back to you. Because you're the one that counts. You wake up um, by the grace of God every morning, and then you go to sleep by the grace of God every night, and if anybody's there, maybe it might be your wife or your husband or your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. But it's still, the fact still remains, you have to be the primary factor to get things going. So
Mm.
again, and that's in that same direction. Um, you asked the question. You said, was the journey like
Yeah.
kind of okay, so basically, um let's see, um I've you know what have I always had a meaningful interest in health.
Interest. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so basically, to answer the question, no, because I actually, like you were saying, I actually grazed the issue on my own convenience. We get into this mold to where we just keep telling ourselves, "Oh, I'm fine, everything's fine," and then we have our loved one, our significant others, because they love us so much, they won't tell us,
Mm.
things like what my mom told me, that which really got me going, which put me right here on the show with you right now. After however many years that was back in, what was that, 2006 or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah, and so yeah, basically, I was interested in other things, everything else, but what I should have been interested in. We take our health and wellness, which should be all the way up here, and we put it all the way down there.
Mm.
As far as on our list of things to do and whatnot, and then even then, we probably take a look at that, before the end of the day is up, and like, I can go another day without doing that. Oh, I can go another. Oh, I'll start next week. Oh, I'm good. I'm looking all right. I look good with these shoes on. This shirt, this outfit. I just buy a bigger size. Oh, this looks good right here. So
Mm.
you know what I mean. So basically, we got to bring everything back and kind of hash it out with ourselves and say, okay, look, do you want to be on that list of people that's waiting to get an amputation or something like that? We'll
Mm.
definitely get into that. We'll talk about that later. Um, but yeah, basically, let me get back on point here. Health and nutrition has always been on the other end of the spectrum with me. Back earlier in the day, it was a love-hate relationship. You know how it was in the Navy.
Yeah.
Trying to be ready for those PRTs and stuff like that,
Yeah, buddy.
and how demanding the job was, and how much the time restraints that we had. We had random time restraints, so we either go and work out, or we can go and try to enjoy ourselves. And nothing against, to each his own. Everybody did what they wanted to do, and some people were ready when the time came, but some people weren't.
Right.
Wasn't. And so I just got tired of being that borderline, like just barely making it by the skin of my teeth,
Mm.
and then ended up on the Fat Boy program, like I said, but I decided to change, step my game up. Basically, I
Yeah.
learned that my nutrition influenced my health just as much, if not more, than exercise. Um,
Mm.
I couldn't, so basically, I couldn't. I had to. It was kind of hard, but I had to stop drinking those party drinks.
Mm.
Gotta stop eating those
Talk about it,
party,
bro.
stop eating those party foods.
Yeah,
I had
man.
to give up a lot of those guilty pleasures. I no longer, I wouldn't hang out. I wouldn't stay up late no more. Because your body needs rest. Your body
Yeah.
needs rest time in order to break down what you feed it. It needs to be
Mm.
allowed to reset for the next day. And on top of that, my doctor, my job, and my family needed me to make these necessary changes.
Mm.
Yeah, ultimately though, getting up in the morning, exercising before work, it takes a lot of dedication and discipline, inside the kitchen and outside the kitchen.
Mm.
So that
Mm.
being said, I started reading the food labels and ingredients. I look at
Yeah.
the serving sizes, um, everything else on the nutrition facts label. Those nutrition fact labels on
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
pretty much everything that that we end up buying from the store. Whether the kids throw it in the cart or not.
Yeah.
Um, Serving size, amount of fat, amount of calories, sugar, cholesterol, sodium, carbohydrates, protein, whatever other vitamins and minerals I can get from the packaged food. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I heard somebody say dead food, dead body. Oh,
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
Anyways, I digress. I digress. Yeah.
No, that's all, bruh. Man, you are hitting it, man. I mean, it's so much you saying in there, man. It's so many thoughts going off in my mind about in so many different directions, man. About just what we eat and how we eat and how you mentioned like we don't focus on our bodies, you know what I mean, or our health,
Mhm.
and before you know it, man, you that you said, man, you end up on a list waiting for whatever it is, a
Yeah.
kidney or this or that,
Right.
a blah blah blah, and
Yeah.
so much of it is preventable, which leads to our next question. Um, according to the CDC.gov Centers for Disease Control, African Americans ages 18 to 49 are 2 times as likely to die from heart disease than whites. Another statistic says African Americans ages 35 to 64 are 50% more likely to have high blood pressure than whites. And I wanted you to talk about that a little bit in terms of like dieting and exercise. But before you do, let me preface it with this. We know some of that has to do with not just eating and foods and etc., but external conditions and lifestyles and all that stuff. And so I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
Yeah.
about like the nutritional part. And before you answer that, I want to give a shout out to our homeboy Dave Patrick.
Hey, Dave. I
So
see.
Dave, what's up, Dave? And that's in the and everybody else, Tiffany Martin, Virginia Johnson, other people that's chiming in. We appreciate y'all, but we definitely want to give a shout out to our homeboy Dave. And he talked about that kombucha juice. I don't know if I'm saying
Yeah.
it right,
Kombucha.
but
Yeah. We'll talk about that too. But
no
yeah, go
doubt.
ahead. Okay.
No, but I was just saying, man. African Americans, 18 to 49, 2 times is likely to die from heart disease than whites. African Americans ages 35 to 64, fifty
Yeah.
percent more likely to have high blood pressure than whites.
Yeah.
Man, like a lot of that is the diet, right, bro?
Yeah, basically those stats are scary because when you look at the age ranges, that's pretty much everybody. When you think
Mm,
about it, it's like it's nowhere to hide from it. And so basically, older folks, they don't eat as much. So when they do, they have to make it count. You get it?
yeah,
You
yeah,
see how that works.
yeah.
So um, by the time we all reach the wise age of 64 years old, more than likely 9 times out of 10 we'll probably have had our doctor to tell us this. Okay. And so I would basically say that this situation is critical, especially because um, in the headlines recently, DMX, rest in peace, DMX,
Yeah.
5-year-old son that was recently diagnosed with stage 3 chronic kidney disease.
Oh man, I didn't hear that, man.
Yeah, yeah, 5-year-old son. All right. So when you get a chance, look that up. If that's, if that don't move you, I don't know what will. Like, I
Mm,
mean, again, how many more family or friends we have to see get their foot or leg cut off due to like diabetes, or how many
mm,
more family friends will lose sight in one eye and become legally blind due to diabetes. you know um it's like there's an unofficial never-ending party thrown by sugar and salt and other foods with zero
mm,
nutritional value. you know um I mean, what does it take? What does it take people to stop using all these different excuses as the blame for their current health condition? You know, here's one for you. Here's one for you. Look up how many dialysis centers are in your area. Come
mm.
back, holler at me after that. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot going on. How many in your neighborhood? How many dialysis centers that you come up with? You can just type it in, search online. You see it's a gazillion of them. All right, and on top of that, did you know that some of the people that die in their sleep, they also suffer? I mean, they pretty much suffer from untreated sleep apnea. Okay, and the
Mm,
reason, and I say that to say this because doctors say the first line of defense from sleep apnea is to lose weight, right?
right.
first thing they tell you, hey, oh, are you might be overweight, lose weight first, and so then after that, the next thing is like, okay, here's a CPAP machine, breathing machine, put it next to your bed, you put it on when you breathe, when you go to bed at night. And then what? The next thing they ask you about is your diet. What are you eating? What are your eating habits? And so that brings me to this. My diet, like you asked, um, it's not really all inclusive, but it's just some of the stuff I'll throw at you. I try to keep it on, I try to keep the wheel steering straight in this direction, but we all go off roading from time to time, uh,
Right.
but you
Sure.
just got to try to do your best, like I said, return it all back to first of all,
No
and take
doubt.
it from there, so let me start by saying this. Just the other day, right,
Yeah.
I bought a veggie tray. just
Okay.
I just felt like having some veggie, some veggies, a veggie tray, right? And then
Yeah.
I thought to myself, like, wait a minute, why does this taste so good right now? And then that's when it hit me, like, when's the last time you had a veggie tray?
Man, bro,
Yeah.
I can't even remember, man.
Well, should I say every time, the last few times you had a veggie tray, what environment was it in? What kind of setting was it in? It was like a social event, right?
Right, right,
Okay.
exactly.
Yes. And this is what I came up with. I was like, man, why do I have to wait until I have a social gathering or something to buy a veggie tray? Like,
Mm,
why can't I just buy one just randomly in the middle of the week or earlier in the week? Use those veggies to put in the lunch, snack on them at lunch, snack on them, have let the kids snack on them, you know what I'm saying? Like,
mm,
and then that way you could kind of move all of that other stuff with the shelf life and all these ingredients that you can't pronounce. You kind of get rid of that, a lot of that other stuff, and try to get back, get in line and where you're supposed to be at, health wise. You know what I mean? Um, so let me see. Continuing. Eventually, I trained my family to read and identify, like what I like to call the friend or foe food labels. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
what
man.
I mean by that is, like, so at the grocery store, my kids at this point, they already know, what to look for before they even pull it off the shelf, or before they even put it in the cart. Because
Yeah,
if I find it, I'm definitely gonna, it's out of here. Even if it's something they made a mistake and overlooked. We brought it home, put it in the cabinet.
yeah,
Anytime I come across anything with, I'll give a short list of some of these ingredients later. But if some of
yeah.
the stuff I see these ingredients on, I throw it right in the trash. I'm not
Right.
even trying to have it. But yeah, it's up to everybody to do their research on this stuff. So let me continue. Let's see. Yeah, basically, we try to eat as much fresh fruits and vegetables as possible. Now, I know it's going to be some pushback on that, because the main deal with fresh fruits and vegetables is that they don't last as long. So you got to hurry up and eat them, because they're perishable.
Right.
And they go bad real quick. So if you leave them around for too long, but I mean, I don't know how else you're gonna move away from shelf life foods, with these
Yeah, man.
crazy ingredients and stuff. Um, the more you move away from that, the better off you are. I mean, it's a no brainer, basically. And then, I drink a lot of water too. You got to make sure you
Yeah,
drink a lot of water. Some people, say, oh, I don't like water, or I can't drink water. I got to drink, pop or something else, and so,
yeah,
I don't know what to say about those people. You just got to find it in yourself, try to figure it out. You know, Last time I checked, like, soda is not the way to go, or pop, or
yeah,
whatever you
man.
call it. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, water, drink lots of water. Water should be the first thing you put in your body every morning, and the last thing you put in your body before bed. And basically, you can use water as a default means of flushing out the toxins in your body.
mm,
Okay,
mm.
and so moving on, you know, there's this thing called super greens, right? There's just like a list of, it's like I don't know if it's an unofficial list, but the super greens, it's basically broccoli, spinach, Brussels sprouts, kale, a lot of that stuff. People say, yak, whatever, and have the, like, baby mouth, like I like to call it, it is, spit it out, you know. But
My
Hey,
Vibes.
well, hey,
Here
as
come
we
the
get,
vibes.
yeah, as we get older though, I mean, we gotta come away from like eating stuff just for taste,
Mm,
we gotta look at what the health benefits are,
word.
when you start reading, doing your research the way you're supposed to, you'll find that a lot of this stuff that it might taste bad, but it does your body man, like hundredfold. Like, you make you healthy. It keeps you healthy basically. Yeah, I'll see you, Virginia Johnson. I agree, water is the best. Yeah, no doubt. You gotta drink water. Your body is made up of mostly water, when you think about
Mm.
it. um okay, moving on. I mentioned broccoli, spinach, Brussels sprouts, kale. So then it continues with like wheatgrass, barley grass, alfalfa, and then
Now, hold on, Dan. Like, okay, so now you getting into territory that people like myself, may not be as familiar with. Like we've heard of it.
okay,
So you say like wheatgrass,
okay,
right?
uh-huh.
So like is that just something like you go to the store, you buy and prepare,
You
or is it something you
can
can put like in a smoothie or a drink or?
you can do that too. You can It's different ways, different ways you can apply it. You could go to like a Whole Food store or whatnot, or a Trader Joe's, something like that. Any place you could buy this kind of stuff, and pretty much, grab it, throw it in your smoothie, or there's many other ways you can prepare it, to make it taste good and to put it in other foods that you like to eat. So yeah, basically, you can also ground it up and mix it with a lot of these other ones that I mentioned, and make yourself like a super smoothie or whatever, like a
Yeah.
super greens smoothie, as they call it, and at these smoothie shops or whatnot. um Alfalfa, what does it say, wheatgrass, barley grass, alfalfa, spirulina. You remember that one, right? Spirulina, remember?
Nah.
Yeah, so yeah, basically, anybody that's watching this right now, if you got a smart device, whether it's your phone, whether it's Alexa or whatever, or Cortana or whatever, just say, hey, um, Alexa, what are the health benefits of spirulina, if I'm saying that correctly. Um, yeah, but yeah, and the list goes on. Do that also with chlorella, beetroot, carrots, pineapple, acai berry. I hope I said that right. Maca root, matcha tea, sea moss, and
Mm,
let's see what else I got here. Bladderwrack. Then you get into the multivitamins, vitamin C, fish oil for your omega 3s. You can also eat fish. I don't eat fish every day, but it's just good to be able to know that you getting those vitamins in that you need. And so continuing, zinc, B12,
mm.
glucosamine, chondroitin, natural vinegar with what they call the mother in there. Okay, with the natural vinegar, if you find it, it's gonna have something in it called the mother. It sounds,
Yeah.
but you familiar, right?
Yeah. The somebody turned me on to apple cider vinegar actually a
Mm,
while ago,
yeah,
and I remember the guy saying buy Bragg's. He was like, buy the brand called Bragg's,
right.
and
Yes,
he was like, that's the best. And he said,
right.
it has to say with the mother,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
I remember him saying, look for that on the label with the mother.
right, right. Yeah, there's this little trick. And, Dave just mentioned broccoli and asparagus too. Asparagus, yeah. I thought I had it on my list, but yeah, definitely, I rock with this asparagus, Dave, no doubt. Um, It's good on the grill too. But yeah, there's a little trick that you can do with the that vinegar with the mother in it. Like you can take like a teaspoon of that and add like some garlic, a little bit of garlic to it. Like take like a teaspoon of that like every day, and that basically kind of helps speed up your metabolism. Like you could take it before going to bed, and that way, while you're sleeping at night, you got that burn going. You know what I'm saying? Trying to
Mm,
get burned through that fat. And so then what else? Honey, 100% honey. Don't get twisted. 100% honey. All right, I use that for a sweetener for oatmeal and my
mm,
tea, my matcha tea or whatever. And then you got like we were just mentioning the mother, the vinegar with the mother, and that ties into kombucha. That's what you taste mainly in kombucha when they make it, the right way. You should always taste a little bit of vinegar in there. You know what I'm saying? And kombucha and yogurt, basically, they both fermented products, which contain probiotic bacteria. Basically, it's good
Yeah.
bacteria. It basically cleans your gut, from the inside. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so yeah, basically that's why those two are pretty much in the same category. Some people, they don't like yogurt or whatever, but I was never a big yogurt fan. But then I learned about, okay, yogurt, that's something that could definitely benefit my body. I don't know, it may not be good for your body, but it's good for everybody's body, really, unless they got some kind of digestive problem or something like that. And the
Right.
yogurt, and then what you got? Oh yeah, I forgot. Like cottage cheese, it's got a lot of protein in it too. But yeah, moving on. If you're using any kind of juice, you drinking any kind of juice, obviously make sure it's 100%. Um,
Yeah.
what I do, well, I got in the habit of like half, and I would like drink half, like a glass of half of the juice, and then I'll add the other half of water. I guess you could say I'll stretch it, but I mean, basically, what I try to do is dilute it. So
Yeah.
I'm not getting so much sugar, because there's a lot of sugar involved with that juice, whether it's 100% or not. So basically, what you can do, try. I know it's hard, but you got to try to eat more. Eat the vegetable itself. Eat more of the vegetable itself, um it's rather than drinking, buying all these big containers of juice, and getting all that sugar and carbs and stuff in your system. All right, and so here we go, right here, the foods that I dodge. The foods that I try to get my kids, my family, everybody to dodge eating any food that's got high amounts of sodium in it.
Yeah, bro.
High carbs, high carbohydrates, because basically the carbs, if you don't use them, they just turn into fat,
Right.
right? You know what I'm saying? And that's what we don't want, because that fat will just build up around your heart, and then you'll be on that list, basically. You
Yeah.
know, unless you're going for a big run, like if I'm going for like a marathon, a half marathon run or something like that, I'll load up the carbs because I know I'm going to need them. I'm going to burn them out. Um, and then sugar and all the different variations of sugar, right? We got
That
let's see.
corn syrup.
Yeah, exactly. You hit it right on the head, man. High fructose corn syrup. That's like one of the main culprits. I mean, basically, why you think they make alternate versions of the same products that say, all natural, no HFCS, no
Yeah, man.
MSG, etc. No MSG, monosodium glutamate, stuff like that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, basically that monosodium glutamate, right? I don't know if I told you the story before, but I use this as an example all the time. Basically, those what are they called? Sweet spicy chili Doritos in that purple bag.
Yeah.
Um, it's almost guaranteed you're gonna eat like the whole bag. Like every time you you start eating them, you're gonna eat either half the bag or the whole bag. And there's a reason. I had to look it up because I just couldn't believe how good they were. I was like, man, why am I going so crazy with these Doritos, man? And so I looked it up, and I was like, okay, it's got these ingredients in there. Basically, it's got that. One thing monosodium glutamate does,
Mm.
it basically tells your there's a mechanism in all of our bodies that say, okay, hey, you're full, you had enough, stop eating. And when you eat those Doritos, you never feel that. When you eat those what they call sweet chili Doritos in the purple bag,
Yeah.
you're gonna eat them until you throw up, until somebody snatch the bag from you and say, hey, give me some or something. It's crazy. And once that happened with me, I was like, man, I can't be letting these people take advantage of me like that.
Yeah, bro.
No. And then
Mm.
there's one ingredient I just came across last night. I never heard of in my life. I'm still on the case on that one. It's called monosodium silicoaluminate. Yeah,
Mm.
say that a couple times.
Yeah.
Um, Monosodium silicoaluminate. It's basically a preservative. I kind of looked it up already, but
Okay.
still, it sounds too much like monosodium glutamate,
Yeah.
monosodium silicoaluminate. You know what I mean? So, and then lastly, basically, aspartame. I don't know if you ever heard aspartame.
Yeah. Yes, sir. That art.
Aspartame. I
Yeah.
like to just tell people point blank. It just makes you dumb. And basically, it is. I'll read something like dozens of studies linked aspartame, the world's most widely used artificial sweetener, to serious health problems, including cancer, cardiovascular disease, Alzheimer's disease, seizures, strokes, dementia, as well as negative effects such as intestinal dysbiosis, mood disorders, headaches, and migraines. Pretty much. So from my perspective, good luck on finding any gum in the checkout aisle at the store that does not contain aspartame. I challenge you to find anything, or not anything, but most of the gum is going to have aspartame in it. In the regular stores that we go to, but it's only like places like Trader Joe's or like online where you can find, or Whole Foods, where you can find gum that doesn't have aspartame in it. And
Yeah.
then I mean, again, why you think they make aspartame free gum? Why you think they do that? Okay, basically all this stuff that I just mentioned, you know, along with no exercise, it'll pretty much guarantee you an early checkout time.
Mm. Ah, yo, man, that's heavy. Everything you just said is heavy, man. And what's even more concerning, or just as concerning, or just kind of like building off of what you said, like we don't, typically the Black community isn't aware of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not aware of this stuff. I realize that things are changing, and now with the internet and social media, you have different pages. Committed to educating people. Things are changing,
Right.
but man, growing up, we didn't know. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We didn't know. I can still remember when my wife and I, when we first got married and we started having our family, and we used to go to the grocery store, and she'd go to the grocery store, and she would always get red drink. You know what I mean? Like
Hey,
just
hey,
that gallon of
yeah,
red drink.
buddy.
But yo,
Yeah.
every time we drank it, we always had headaches. Like we noticed that. Like we would have headaches to the point to where we said, look, we gotta stop, drinking this stuff, because we noticed every time we drink it, we both end up with headaches. And then it wasn't until years later that we met someone that had suffered through cancer. She had multiple bouts of cancer, and she hipped us. This was like 2007. She was like, look, stay away from high fructose corn syrup. She said, stay away from sodium nitrites, sodium nitrates. She was telling us about preservatives and all that kind of stuff, man. And we realized aspartame and all those little artificial sweeteners. And we were able to discover that it was those artificial sweeteners that was leading to our headaches. And we had heard before. I've heard this before. Somebody said, when you look on the label, if you can't pronounce it, don't get it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If you can't pronounce it, don't get it. And just like you said, man, we try to there are some things like hardcore that we just don't get. Like high fructose corn syrup. That's like, yo, we don't even get that stuff. Aspartame, we don't even get that stuff. But we also found out that sometimes they get hip and they'll change stuff on the labels, and say other little slick things, and sometimes it's hard to keep up, man. But like I said, I know things are turning around. I know that like I mentioned a moment ago, more people are getting hip to it. There's more there's pages out there. The internet offers you the opportunity to learn, and so all that is good stuff, man. Look, one of the things you do is manage a gym. And I wanted to ask you, what would you say to someone who wants to begin a workout regimen but doesn't know where to begin? So you have somebody hearing this information, they're like, look, man, I need to get in the gym. Like, I'm gonna start going. I'm gonna get the membership, and I'm gonna start. What would you say to them? They come into your gym and say, hey, look, where do I start, man? What would you tell them?
Okay, I say first thing I tell them is welcome. Welcome to the next chapter in your life. You know what I'm saying? Basically, there's no like perfect time to start. Start immediately. But the first thing everybody should do is take some time to learn a little bit about their body and what areas they want to improve in. So it won't be a mystery. So we're walking around the gym with a question mark over their head. Or so they'll know how to communicate with their trainer once they get to the gym. research the foods that you're going to eat. Research the actually, I'm sorry, research the foods that you eat that you already eat on a regular basis. Because you got to figure out, okay, obviously, you know, uh, you want to make that change inside and outside. You don't want to just run around looking good on the outside with like really bad organs and
Mm.
insides and stuff like that. Like some
Right.
of the best looking people end up passing away because they don't try to make themselves beautiful inside. you know
Mm.
I mean, and what I mean
Good
by
point.
that, diet wise, they feel like, well, hey, I'm beautiful, or I'm handsome, or I'm sexy, so I don't have to eat, right. I could just eat what I want to eat because I look good anyways. And then the next thing you know, they on that list. you know
Yeah.
so yeah, on a regular basis, right? You could pretty much, everybody could pretty much do that on their spare time. I mean, even if you're on the fence about whether or not you want to go or not, it's still good to know. Be good to research. What the foods are that you're eating, or what's in the foods, all these ingredients and stuff. You can use your smartphone again, your smart device or whatever. You can say, hey, oh, this one I missed earlier. You can say, hey, Alexa, what are the health benefits of blackstrap molasses? Look that up. We'll wait for Alexa to respond to that. It's a long list of healthy benefits that's gonna come along with that when you do. Um,
Mm.
let's see. Oh yeah, 100% blackstrap molasses. By the way, um, or Google Assistant. You can use Google Assistant too. Yeah, so you can say, hey Siri, what exercises are good for arm strength, or what
Mm.
exercises are good for leg strength? What exercises are good for upper body strength? For the women out there, what kind of exercises to make my butt look better or whatever. So I don't have to go buy a fake booty. You know what I mean? Hey, it's the world we live in right now, man. That's a
No, man.
that's in the mental health department. But yeah, we'll get into that later, right? Um, but honestly, there's no perfect time to start. You just got to create that time slot in your day for you, basically.
Mm.
And you got to get your mindset. You got to get your mind correct. Get that mindset together. Add that with a little bit of minimal research. Online. YouTube. From time to time. I'm pretty sure sometimes you have a problem going to sleep, or you might wake up, in the night, whatever. If you got time, just hop on YouTube and just punch in those same questions, arm
Hmm.
strength, leg strength, upper body strength, booty
Mm.
strength. I don't know, you know. uh, you can, but no, basically a lot of these, there's a lot, you're gonna come across a lot of cookie cutter. They used to be prevalent back in the day, those cookie cutter workouts. You used to buy the
Yeah.
videotape. The what's that guy's name, Billy Blanks, and all these different exercises and
Yeah.
stuff.
Tybo.
Yeah, Tybo and all these different package deals. Oh, I got this. And so what end up happening is, it's weird how this works, man. I even experienced this myself before, but we buy all this stuff and we'll sit it down in the corner in a pile with all the other stuff we bought like that. And for some reason, we just keep telling ourselves, oh, I got that. I got that over there, so I'm good. And then we never use it, but we just running around like, it's like a mental thing, mental health, man, for real.
Yeah,
You
man.
just sit over there in the corner and just accumulate dust until you have an argument about it. Like, why you still got that over there? That's ugly. It's making the house look bad. Get rid of it. Garage sale. Take it to the thrift store. Salvation Army. And yeah, and so basically, you contact your local gym to see what's available. If you have if you need a partner, try to get a partner that you could depend on, that's gonna to help motivate you, and you guys
Mm.
have to feed off each other. And when the one person is not really feeling it, that's when you got to you got to kick in and be like, all right, nah, we about to go make this happen, and vice versa too. You know what I'm saying? They're not feeling right, or you're not feeling right, whatever. You gotta help motivate each other.
Mm.
Um, you can actually create your own routine, according to what your body needs, for whatever the case. Just basically just pick a program, just do something, just do something to get your heart rate up at least
Yeah.
twice a week, for starters. So you don't want to get in there and just start trying to represent and then fall out, and then you'll be known as the person that fell out in the gym. Next time you come to the gym, they'll be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Your new nickname would be Fallout. Hey, yo, that's
Yeah,
Fallout over here. Hey, Fallout, you gonna pass out? What's up?
that's how they do too.
Yeah, exactly, man. But yeah, then later, once you get something going, later on, you can make adjustments. You can add on or take away stuff from the little routine that you came up with. And then I wanted to add on the fact that there's this thing called Reds or Red S or whatever, however you want to say it, REDS, basically RED dash S, and what that stands for is relative energy deficiency in sport. Yeah,
Mhm.
smartwatch is good, Dave. Yeah, no doubt. I definitely got mine on right now, as a matter of fact. Smartwatch definitely help you as well. As long as you don't cheat it, and have it set to do, have the watch thinking that you're doing something, but you just like, sit down on your behind, and then
Mm, mm.
once again that whole mental thing would come in, like, oh, my watch said I did a good job today. I closed all my rings, but you didn't really, you know.
You ain't really do it.
People, yeah, some people do that. It's an enabler. It's a helpful tool, but it can also be an enabler too. But it's all good. Or getting back to a reds, or however you say it. So relative energy deficiency in sport. Okay, so
Mm,
basically what that is that's a situation where people like tend to starve themselves, when they, especially when they're really, really, really trying to lose weight, and or fit into that outfit or whatever, and want to take their shirt off at the beach or whatever. They'll start like eating, like not eating enough, thinking that, okay, this is going to be helpful. And then they'll work out, and like go skimpy on the diet. And so what happens is the body will become depleted of you won't get enough fuel
yeah,
to support the energy demands for your daily lives and stuff like that. So yeah, basically, that being said, if you're hungry, just eat, but here's the thing, you got to make it count.
mm,
Otherwise, it's going to be an uphill battle. You heard the term garbage in, garbage out, right? So
right.
you put some stuff in that the body's not going to be able to use. It's just going to fly right back out the backside, like, before you get home. So here's a scenario for you. Basically, a Snickers bar. Oh, watch me telling me, get up and move. Yeah, yeah, no doubt, Dave. Yeah, the watch does tell you to get up. It tells you to breathe too from time to time. Yeah, I'm with you on that. So the Snickers bar, right? I just checked that recently. It says the regular Snickers bar is like 250 calories, right?
Okay.
But last time I checked, a while back, I don't know, maybe it's a few years ago, they used to be 280 calories. I know this because I used to look at that stuff. And so all I'm getting at is basically, I remember, when I got started, pretty heavy on the treadmill and running and stuff like that. Um, I got off the treadmill one time and I looked at the calories that I burned.
Mm,
And do you know how much work it takes to burn 280
yeah,
calories, man?
yeah,
I mean,
yes,
on a treadmill, I mean, hey, it's
yeah,
times I got on there and I thought I ran around the world, and I
yeah,
get off and I barely made it to 200 or something,
right,
just 200 period, and so that
yeah,
being said, 280 calories, it's going to be a few miles depending on how fast you want to run, how fast you want to burn the calories off. You know what
right,
I'm saying? Or actually what your incline setting is on the treadmill, because you burn more calories on the treadmill when it's on the incline while you're walking too, for that matter. Um, and lastly, for that part, just make sure you know your limits. Make sure you know your limits. Don't want nobody passing out. Going to the gym says, Dan told me to come here and do this and go crazy, and nah, 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 nah. Know your limits at the table and know your limits while you're working out for your workout regimen. Yeah.
awesome, brother, awesome. Well, look, man, it's 7:55. We get ready to wrap it up, man. We got 5 minutes left. Take a few minutes, man. Take about 2 minutes, and a major part of our overall health, um, a major part of our overall health that has gotten lots of attention in the last few years, and rightly so, is the area of mental health.
Yeah, buddy.
And so, we talked about physical health and everything. You went down the line.
Mhm.
Are there any words of strength and resolve that you want to share with the listeners, just as it relates to mental health?
Yes, absolutely. You know, it's it's ironic how this all ties in. Actually, the nutrition part of things and the mental health factors. Personally, I feel all roads lead back to mental health. It's where
Mm,
everything begins and where everything ends. The first thing you always hear is, you know, what was she? Like you hear something crazy happen, somebody did something, and one of the first things you hear is, man, what were they thinking? What was he thinking?
mm,
What was he thinking? You know, um, Mental health is definitely degraded as we see in all these news articles, and right now with all these murder, suicides, and
yeah, man.
various other heinous acts and stuff like that. There's a lot going on right now. You know,
Right.
um, Basically, have you ever had a conversation with somebody and you notice how they kind of like all over the place when they talking to you? You
Yeah,
ever
man.
notice some people are like that?
Yeah.
You just feel like, okay, maybe they just got a lot of energy. Maybe they are on drugs. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're anxious. Maybe they're gonna rob you. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, no, serious. You notice they just all over the place and they off topic, off subject
Yeah,
sometimes,
bro.
and sometimes they totally forget about what the conversation was about in the first place. You know,
Mm,
so a lot of that comes, believe it or not, comes from bad nutrition or poor
mm,
diet as well. Some of these foods that we're eating, it's it's basically it takes me into this right here. All right. So next thing we do, we get into all these prescriptions and stuff like that.
yeah, brother.
Uh,
Talk about it.
these prescriptions, they only treat whatever the issue is. There's never any cure for the stuff, right?
Mm,
So I mean, all I'm getting at is like, the pharmaceutical companies, big pharma is not always the answer. It might be helpful for a short period of time, but why just get on this stuff and stay on it forever?
mm,
And then earlier you mentioned about the CDC, right? The Central
yes.
Disease Control. So how about the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, right? Now I'm not trying to put no shade on them or nothing like that. I'm just trying to make the correlation to the fact that you say the word, you say Food and Drug uh, Administration to yourself a few times, you know, um, and basically food and drugs, right? And then you think of how hard it is to pronounce some of these ingredients of some of these foods that we buy. Some of these foods that are on the shelf and stuff like that. So then it makes you wonder, like how much of this is food and how
Mm,
much of this is a drug. You get what
mm,
I'm saying?
yeah,
That's,
man.
that kind of came to me the other day too. When I was uh, prepping for this event right here. So basically, at the end of the day, you only get one body, man. You only get one body. Let's make the best of it. Why not treat the inside of your body like we, same way we treat the outside of it. Same way you treat all
Right.
your material items, like your car, your jewelry. You keep it clean and pristine. At the end of the day, you know, you need to know how your body works. You know,
Yes, sir.
only you know, only then we learn what's good for you and what your body really needs. Um, get your family involved. Do your research. Look stuff up.
Mm,
We have all this technology, but instead we choose to use it to send all this meaningless stuff to each
mm,
other.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? Eat dinner together as much as possible.
Word.
That's pretty much it.
Yo, man. Well, look, a lot of good information, man. A lot of good information, bro. Um, you hit it out the park, dude. You left a lot of strong nuggets. Everything, man. It's actually so much. You have to go back and mine through it, man. But everything that you just shared, and I want to talk to our viewers and those that'll be viewing it later. Everything that my brother just shared is the key to a lot of our issues, the key to a lot of our problems. It was so much good stuff, man. The diet, what we're putting in our bodies, reading labels and drinking water, all of that stuff, man. It's real good, man. And so, Dan, man, thank you so much for stopping by, bro, and taking the time out to share a little bit about yourself. I am encouraged, not just encouraged, man. I mean, I don't even want to use the word encouraged, but I'm convicted. You know what I mean? Because it just reminds me of, you know, my responsibility, and nobody's coming to save us. You know what I'm saying? It's like we got to get up and do it ourselves. And so I know that I'm all, especially the older I get, I'm always looking for ways to tweak and just do better, man. That's definitely what I want to do. And so thank you, bro. Thank you so much. Hey, look, before we get out of here, I wanted to leave you with a couple of resources. If you are watching and you are dealing with some a mental crisis, we wanted to leave you a couple of resources. We're going to have it popped up on the screen for you. The first one is the Black Mental Health Alliance. Black Mental Health Alliance. The website is blackmentalhealth.com. Blackmentalhealth.com. The phone number is up there. Next one is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. The National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI.org. It's a website filled with resources for getting help on mental and emotional issues. The next one is the National Suicide Hotline. If you are having a mental health crisis, you feel like you're ready to end it, you feel like you can't take it anymore, and you're going to harm yourself or somebody else, you can call the National Suicide Hotline. The number is 800-273-8255. They're open 24/7. Also have the website up there. And last but not least, want to give a shout out to all of our veterans. Salute to my brother Dan. Thank you for your service too, bro. You know, every 22 seconds, y'all, a veteran commits suicide. And so if you are a veteran out there, if you are struggling, if you are feeling like, you know, there's nowhere I can go, I need help, nobody cares, there's the Veterans Crisis Line, veteranCrisisLine.net, 800-273-8255. We want to thank you for checking out the Black Soul Well podcast. We will see you 2 weeks from tonight. Hope you be great. Peace.